Damn, why is it doing that? Gonzo, I have technical difficulties. Hold on now.
All right.
And here we go, folks.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
And bam. Oh. We're going to get this going eventually at some point. All right. Not the smoothest intro in the whole freaking world, but you know what? Life unscripted never is, and that's just kind of how we roll. As you know, today we got Logan. We got a boy from Gonzo Sports Room, Christopher Gonzalez. And we got a pretty much very loyal guest that hangs out on our show quite sometimes, Sander Arroyo-Sancez.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
And of course, you got your boy Jay McLovin. Hey, how's everybody doing today? Sander, how you doing, man?
Doing great, man. Glad to be here. Ready to talk some sports, baby.
That's what I'm talking about. Gonzo, what's up, Bubba?
Oh, doing great. Been keeping an eye on all this stuff that's going on in the sports world with the NFL franchise tag deadline going on and some of the moves that have been getting made for an interesting day so far.
Man, you're telling me, brother. What's up, Logan? What's up?
Hey, I'm doing good, Jay. How are you doing, by the way, man? I know you told me last night you were drinking about half a gallon of Jack Daniels. Is your liver okay? Did you sleep well?
Man.
How are you doing?
Hey, listen. I woke up this morning and my liver said, hey, Jay, we got to have a conversation.
Get a heart-to-heart.
You can't keep doing what you're doing because you're suffocating me down here. I can't process the chemicals as fast as you put them into your body. Do you think you could just slow it down just a tad? So I'm going to listen to my liver and I'm going to slow it down a tad. I did survive it, Logan. At the end of the day, I guess what I'm trying to say is I survived it. We're good. I'm still kicking. And as I woke up this morning, I felt like the whole sports world just went off the chain. What I mean by that is Aaron Rodgers signs a 4-year, $200 million, $153 million guaranteed, fully guaranteed money.
Yes, sir.
That puts him as the highest paid player in NFL history at $50 million. And of course, then they also franchise tagged Devontae Adams. So they got their duo back, but at a very, very high cost. Mm-hmm. Does anybody see issues with that?
They got 1 year to prove it, or else they're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. It's a make it or break it year. I'm one of those that are gonna say that he's now on the clock to bring Green Bay another championship, because if he fails, that whole thing in Green Bay is gonna get blown up, and it's gonna get blown up real ugly.
And I totally agree with you. And I feel like if this does not work, if they did not get another ring out of this, either way, Green Bay is set themselves up financially for a very, very dark time period.
Dark ages.
Yep.
I mean, literally. Financially, they have put themselves in such a hole that this really, truly is all in or bust. It's another Sean McVay and the Rams, and they're going to need that kind of outcome for the Packers for this to be even deemed somewhat successful.
Yeah, because they're going to lose some pieces because they're already over the salary cap as it is.
Yep.
Yeah, they can't bring back
absolutely.
the Smith brothers. Both Smith brothers are asking for contracts, and Green Bay might not be able to bring back both, if any.
Yeah, they're going to try to restructure Aaron Jones' contract to try to free up a little bit of money, but it's not going to be enough to
get anyone major.
To get anyone major back.
It's a big for what, because I understand that Green Bay wanted to keep Aaron Rodgers, but he was still under contract. Like, they didn't have to do this. So,
and I totally agree. And then we move on to the next biggest piece of news. Wilson to Denver. And Denver also is another team that went completely all in.
For no
They gave up
reason.
Drew Lock, tight end Noah Fant, defensive lineman Shelby Harris, and 2 first-round picks. The number 9 pick this year and the number, I don't know what number it is going to be, but number 9 pick in 22, and then, of course, they get the pick in 23. So the next 2 years of number 1s are done for Denver, all on Russell Wilson. And that's another all-in for me. Does anybody think that with the addition of Wilson, is that going to be enough to make the difference? I know me and Sander were talking about the Chiefs being hard to get past. I think Cincinnati is another one that's hard to get past. Titans are going to still be pretty formidable. I mean, how do you see this working out for Denver?
Well, go ahead, Logan.
I'm sorry, Sander.
I mean, let's be real, guys. It ain't going to be easy because the AFC West is probably the best quarterback division.
What did I say, Jay?
So let's do a quick recap. We got Patrick Mahomes, MVP, Super Bowl champ, all that good stuff. You have Derek Carr, formidable veteran, been around the league for a long time, doing it consistently.
No scrub.
You got the Broncos didn't have no one. Now they get Russell Wilson, former Super Bowl winner, and all that. You got Justin Herbert, one of the best young arms in the game. So I mean, it ain't gonna be easy.
Logan, I was telling Jay earlier that he went to probably one hard division, probably the hardest division,
He went to the tougher
to
one.
another hard division. So, at the end of the day, it was kind of like, what are you settling for? 3rd place? Because even with the addition of Russell Wilson, I don't think they're better than the Chiefs, obviously. Right. I might not even put them ahead of the Chargers right now. And so he's going to be battling for 3rd place with the Raiders. And the Raiders are they're no slouch. They made the playoffs.
It's not like they have, 3-15 record. I mean, they're always around that 500 or more.
This move did not make life easier for Russell Wilson whatsoever. So, Hey, I mean, it is what it is at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we got some good comments here, Jay. Let's see.
Yeah, can you put the comments, Logan? Do you have the ability? Because I'm clicking on the comments, but it's not showing up.
I do not, but we can just read them out.
Okay.
Let's see. Anthony Price says, no one believes in Jordan Love. Rodgers knew what he was doing. Rodgers don't care about winning. It's about there we go. It's about the money. He got paid. I'll tell him that much. He got paid.
He definitely got paid. And
if he gets him a Super Bowl, it won't matter. But that's a big if.
If he delivers a Super Bowl to Green Bay within this contract, I think it'll silence every critic. So that's what he needs to do. That's all he needs to do. Just bring a championship, and that's it. Everybody will shut up.
John Sutton.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. He's going to have to bring the championship. John Sutton says, "Who won the Seahawks to Broncos?" I think the Seahawks won that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I really do think the Seahawks.
The Broncos win that. The only way the Broncos win that is if they get a championship, and I just don't think it's going to happen.
I don't believe.
Another way the Seahawks won that a lot of people haven't mentioned is also they got rid of that big salary cap hit that
they were going to take this year. Yep, they were going to take it this year.
they're going to have that freed up some money where they can add some more pieces.
I mean, plus too, they got Drew Lock, who's that's going to be a nice fill in before they get probably their future, because I don't think Drew Lock going to be a franchise quarterback. They wouldn't have traded him if they thought so.
That's even if they make the first round.
Right. Noah Fant, young upcoming tight end. Shelby Harris on the D line. And then the most important thing, they got 2 first-round picks for this year and next year, and then also 2 second-round picks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they can really do some damage in the next couple of seasons. I mean, the Seahawks weren't that good this year anyways. They really struggled, and you kind of knew they were going to blow things up. If they were smart, they did the right thing, I think. They traded Russell Wilson. And, just start fresh, and instead of suffering for another season or 2 with them, now you can just start fresh already, and it won't take maybe as long. You don't know.
To me, for Denver, I didn't understand the trade because it wasn't like they're a quarterback away. It ain't like you bring Russell Wilson in and now you're.
Right.
They were Aaron Rodgers away. They were Aaron Rodgers away. That was the big fish that Denver was going for. So
yeah, that's why they hired Hackett.
Yeah,
right. So because they didn't get the biggest fish, they got the next best thing available. And even with that, they had to do something, Chris, because if Denver came out of this free agency with no quarterback, it was a big for what and a wash of a season, a waste. So they had to go all in. They had to go all in for Russell Wilson to make sure they had a QB, knowing that Aaron Rodgers was going to go back to Green Bay.
Mitchell Trubisky.
They definitely were not trying to go the route of another C type quarterback. They wanted either an A in Aaron Rodgers or an A type in Russell Wilson. And, I guess they got the next best thing. They didn't get the Jordans, but they got the Jordan flights.
And Russell Wilson went from one of the toughest divisions in the NFC to now one of the toughest divisions in the AFC.
Division of football, honestly. Yeah.
I think the NFC West was the toughest division of football.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
The AFC West was up there, but the NFC West, I think, was a little bit tougher.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't move to the easier division. He
moved to of equal strength or right there at it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He should have went to like the AFC South. He should have went to like maybe Indy.
Hey, I'd have been all right if he came to Indy.
What if he went to Tampa Bay? That would have been interesting.
That would have been interesting as well, but still, I mean, I don't think Russell Wilson in the NFC. I don't think that's where. I think his time in the NFC was done.
I didn't think he would ever come to the Colts because it's not a big enough city for a big enough city.
Oh yeah, his wife. I forgot his wife plays a big role in it. When you're dating Sierra, she wears the pants in a relationship.
Yeah, that's true though. She does. She does. So we look at Godwin. Godwin is also franchise tagged by Tampa. I don't know how I feel about that because I think he's obviously coming off an injury. They got a lot of cap casualties about to happen because they don't really have a lot of cap room. How do y'all feel about Godwin coming back? And do you think they get him on a friendly deal? Well, it won't be because they franchise tag him, so they'll probably get about $20 million, or how much would he get on the cap on the franchise tag? I think it's about $20.
Where's that guy when you need him?
John Suggs.
Man, I'm telling you, hey, listen, that dude will pull out numbers on you. He'll pull out numbers in contention with big stars.
He's the best. Real.
So about Anthony Price, Jay, real quick, because he mentioned.
Let me see if I can get it to work. It's my comments have been acting really wonky today on me.
Yeah, he said, all right, so Washington offered 3 first-round picks, but Denver had offered 2 first and 2 second and a 4th. He said no one would give up all that. Well, I don't know, 3 first-round picks for, I'm assuming, Russell Wilson?
Washington was trying to give every single draft pick to Kansas City for Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, so he said he's making $15 million now, but expected to make $19.5 million.
Wow. Yeah, and I thought it was about $20 million, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Right there, Jay. You were close.
Hey, I wasn't too bad. So we'll see what Godwin does, man. We'll see what the Tampa Bay does. They still need a field general. They don't have a legitimate field general, which still I think is going to hurt Tampa.
They need a quarterback. Hey, maybe Jameis Winston could go back over there. He's a free agent.
And they probably could get him at a cheap price too.
He'll
They're gonna need to get a cheap price.
he probably won't go 30 for 30 this year.
Yeah,
This is
they'll
the
stick with
second-
Trask, I think, for a season. They drafted him kind of high out of Florida.
Bruce Arians does like the kid Trask.
Yeah, this is the second year that they franchise Godwin, so he gets a bump in pay this year since he's franchised the second year.
Yeah.
All right.
So we look at Deion Sanders, and I want to kind of point this out because it's me and Sander were talking about this. So he lost 2 of his toes due to amputation because of blood clots in his feet. And I want to kind of keep him in our prayers because, that's a pretty serious deal.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
And hopefully he recovers well from that and continues to move on and do big things. So our prayers and thoughts go out to you, Deion. We love you, buddy. And you are a former Cowboy, so I already got love for you.
Yeah, he'll always look better with that star on his helmet. I don't care what nobody says.
Nathaniel McQuirt says, on top of that, I don't think Denver lost the number 9 overall pick. They
That'd be the
did
first
get
thing I'd want.
I don't know what Nathaniel was thinking on that one, but okay,
Both teams
they lost
won.
number 9.
Yeah, I think
So,
both teams kind of won. Yeah, so both teams won because at the end of the day, Denver got a quarterback. They still kept a lot of their core main guys in Jerry Jeudy. I thought Jerry Jeudy was going to be on the move, but they kept Jerry Jeudy, so that's really good for them. I think Denver still won. Seattle won as well. Both teams won. No team lost in this trade.
So Sanders is a Cowboys fan too. Hey, listen, Anthony Price, go easy on Sander. He's our guest.
Treat him with respect.
Hey, like Jay,
Nice.
I'm one of the handful of Cowboy fans on the planet that are realistic and don't think we're gonna win it every single year. Trust me, I'm not that guy.
I know, and I think we all understand that, Sander. I don't think you're that guy either. Otherwise, you probably would have said a few comments to Anthony Price if you were.
I would have came on the show opening day with a freaking Cowboys hat. How crazy!
Hey.
Is that? Right?
So the Chargers
They traded
signed
their
Mike
number 9 pick.
Williams.
They traded their number 9 pick away.
Yeah. I figured so.
Yeah. So the Chargers signed Mike Williams to a 3-year, $60 million deal. How does that help them and Herbert out?
Big, because that was one of his best targets last season. That was his deep threat. And Mike Williams has the speed mixed with the size, the height, the athleticism. He's a baller, man. He got a battle through some injuries last season, but when he's on the field and he's healthy, he's a smoke show, man. He can literally take the top off the defense, or he could kill you with a slant and take it 75 yards for a touchdown. He's that lethal. So it's only going to help Justin Herbert more with Keenan Allen, keep the pressure off of Keenan Allen, because Keenan Allen, we already know how good he is in the league. So a great 1-2 in that offense, it's always going to be great for a quarterback like Herbert that just loves to sling it. So that's definitely a plus for the Chargers.
And I like Keenan Allen. The only knock on Keenan Allen is sometimes he can be a little brittle.
Oh, 100. Sometimes no, he's definitely brittle. He's definitely.
You breathe on him wrong, and he's hurting. But when he's on the field,
I've had him.
But when he's on the field doing his thing, he's electric.
Yeah. I've had him on fantasy, so I know the brittleness. I know how that hurts.
He said after Adams got tagged, do you think that will bring drama to Green Bay, maybe as a holdout? I don't think so.
No, I don't think he's going to hold out.
I don't think Devontae's going to hold out at all. I think Devontae's ready to try to roll it back and see if they can get a title.
Because if they win, he might sign.
Yeah, only way Devontae was going to hold out, I think, is if Rodgers would have left, and then if he was trying to get to where Rodgers was at, he might have tried to hold out because they were going to franchise tag him. But since Rodgers stayed, I don't see him holding out.
Yeah. I believe if Green Bay miraculously wins it, because I was telling Jay, and you guys could maybe give me your input on this, I believe that Rodgers is in the best place still to win a championship, because going into next season, the only team that would be standing in Green Bay's way is the Rams. And coming off the last season, all those contracts not being a guarantee coming back next year, it might not be the same Rams team. And it's very difficult to try and repeat in the NFL. So in all reality, even though the past 4 seasons, Aaron Rodgers has had every chance to get to the Super Bowl, and like I said to Jay earlier, as crazy as this sounds being a Cowboys fan saying this about another team, next year could legit be Green Bay's year to win a Super Bowl. So if there's going to be a team that he was going to go to, it was going to be Green Bay. And if there's going to be a season for them to win it with no excuses, like that's it. It's next year, Super Bowl, or guess what? Those remaining 3 years in Green Bay are going to be just low, just regular Atlanta Hawk in the NBA type seasons, just regular, just coasting through the playoffs and early round exits. That's what it's going to be for Green Bay if they don't win it next season.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're going to roll on. Oh, go ahead, Gonzo.
Yeah,
go ahead, Gonzo.
I was just going to say they need to win it this year. It's going to be their best opportunity because of the salary cap issues that they have.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of these players together.
Yep.
No, I definitely, absolutely. So then we move into Lamar Jackson. Says racial bias still exists against black quarterbacks. I believe that. There's a lot of things against that probably holds a lot of water. I mean, I think he said that in order for him to be able to get rid of that racial bias, that he's going to have to win a championship. Well, that does help. But let's be honest. Doug Williams was a black quarterback, and he was a mobile guy, and he won the Super Bowl. And I forget which one. I think it was Super Bowl 22, and he was also the Super Bowl MVP. And yet that bias is still kind of there. Can the mobile black quarterbacks succeed against their more pocket present predecessors? And I get it. I mean, there's a lot of critics that say he's not a real quarterback, that he's asked to run wide receiver routes at the combine rather than doing quarterback type drills. And then, of course, even though he won the Heisman, it's still an issue that maybe they don't consider him to be a real quarterback because of that. And his record in the regular season is 37-12. So I don't know how he doesn't get more respect, even though he is a run first guy versus passing, but his knock is 1-3 in the postseason. Sander, how do you feel about Lamar Jackson? Is there still racial bias against black quarterbacks in the league?
There is, because the whole stigma is still there. I believe that, when it comes down to it, to the nitty gritty, if you got a quarterback, you got two guys that are both equally as talented, but one is white and one is black, NFL teams tend to pick the white guy 10 times out of 10. So that's just sometimes how it goes. And it's still going to be there, guys, unfortunately. Although in the most recent events, we've seen black quarterbacks, African-American quarterbacks be successful. Patrick Mahomes won a Super Bowl. Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson's MVP. We've seen signs of success. So I feel like as the years go by, that stigmatism, that cliche is going to, probably be gone in the next, 10 years, because we're seeing a plethora of African-American quarterbacks come into the league and be the starting quarterback. So it's only a matter of time until half the league starting quarterbacks is half black and one of them wins a Super Bowl. So I believe that racial bias, as years go by, it'll be lesser and lesser until it's completely gone.
Dustin Reese says racial bias is in the NFL, period. It doesn't discriminate by position or coaches. Bottom line is black quarterbacks are typically more athletic, which is why they are asked to do other drills. Gonzo,
do we need a black Phillip Rivers then in order to kill that stigmatism? Like, do we need a quarterback?
That's a good point.
That doesn't run.
That's a good point.
Because real quick, Gonzo, whenever a black quarterback isn't a dual threat, they tend to not even bother looking at them. Look at the quarterbacks that came out of Ohio State. A lot of them were pocket QBs, not dual threats, and they didn't even get a second look. Like Troy Smith and who's the other kid that came out of Ohio State that was drafted by Washington?
You're talking about
Haskins. He was an African American with a cannon of an arm, but he doesn't get the recognition. He doesn't get the play. He doesn't get the trust because he's not a dual threat quarterback.
Well, with all due respect, Haskins didn't exactly come out and perform either.
100%.
But no,
go ahead, Gonzo.
Back to Lamar. Yeah, I think there's racial bias, but I agree with Dustin. It's not just to a position. But what I didn't like about his comment was that he has to win a ring to validate it. We talk about every quarterback until you win a ring. We always talk about any quarterback, whether no matter what color they are. You got to win that ring. I mean, look what we're talking about Rodgers. If he don't win another ring, it's a disappointment. Look at Dan Marino. He never got a ring, and since he's one of the greatest to play, but since he never got that ring, he don't even get talked about.
Right.
So yeah, you have to have the ring to validate it, but it's not just the African American quarterbacks that have to have that ring to validate themselves. I'm not saying there's not
any
racial
quarterback.
bias. I'm not saying there's not racial bias that exists, because I believe there is, but I don't think that goes to where you have to have a ring to validate yourself. I think most people that watch football know Lamar Jackson can play quarterback. Is he the best thrower of the football? No. But he's one of the most dynamic quarterbacks that you're going to see play the game. I think it's your casual fans that don't really know how good he is. And then another thing, look at Cooper Kupp. He really don't get his respect at wide receiver, and a lot of that's due to he's white.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You don't see white guys that can play like Cooper Kupp at receiver typically.
Yeah,
he's a guy that it works the other way on him, where he don't get as much respect as I think he deserves.
I definitely agree, because I felt like he wasn't even really talked about in the MVP conversation. I get it. It's going to go to a quarterback, but he wasn't even really talked about in the conversation, even though he's having a positional breakout year, probably one of the best. I mean, he really came in just a few yards shy of breaking the receiving record held by Calvin Johnson. And I still don't think he didn't get nowhere near the love that he should have got. Logan.
Talk about that comment from Dustin Reese. He said, look at the African-American quarterbacks right now. You got Tua, Teddy, Lamar, Jameis, Jalen Hurts, Mahomes, Wilson, Murray, Watson, Fields, Lance, Prescott, etc. He said all are mobile and most have big arms, which is, that's a pretty good point. All those, they can run, they can throw. And, I mean,
Jordan loves Lance.
He's saying there's racial bias in the NFL in general, not just quarterbacks. Look at what they did to Ridley for betting, what he got 1 year suspension, but Tom Brady gets a slap on the wrist for cheating.
Hey.
That's two different things.
And by the way, Jay, we're covering. I already put it on Thursday's topic, so you love me. We're going to be talking about that whole insane scenario happening in Atlanta. So there you go.
The Calvin Ridley stuff.
Yeah, that's our first
cool.
topic for Thursday.
Yeah, because I'd like to talk about that. So that'd be cool.
We'll definitely be touching on that, because there's a lot to be said about that.
There is.
Unpack. Even on that one topic, there's a lot to unpack.
Right. Just to be quick with this, I do agree with Lamar Jackson. There is a racial bias. You all said it great that everyone, the casuals are more just, what are you doing? Go get a ring and then you'll be validated. But this dude's only 25. He's already got an MVP. He's been to the playoffs multiple times. I know he don't have the best record, but he's still a leader for his team. And I mean, like I said, you don't have to win a Super Bowl to be known as one of the all-time greats. That's in any sport. So,
but it helps.
It does help, yes, but you don't have to have one. You can still. I mean, he's got an MVP, which is more than what a lot of people in the league can say.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being a Dan Marino.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No, I wouldn't think there is. We're going to move on to Devin Lloyd and his draft profile. As you can see by the graphic, he's a 6'3" guy, linebacker out of Utah, 219 pounds.
I'll line up with him. I'll run nose tackle with him. What up? I'll run. Sorry, no, I'm playing.
Sander.
I'll get demolished.
Sander, you stay over there on your couch. Let's not get too carried away. Listen, 65 pressures, 15.5 sacks, 256 total tackles, 150 solo tackles, 43 tackles for loss, 8 passes defended, 5 picks, 3 defensive touchdowns, finalist for the Buckets Award in 2020 and 21. This guy is versatile. He's got excellent size. He's got good sideline to sideline speed. He takes good angles of approach, and he's a leader. He's got good pass rushing skills, and he is also good in man coverage. I think he goes first round, obviously, And I don't know where I don't have a mock draft put up for him, so I'm not sure where he's going. But this guy is going. I do see good things for him in the draft.
Top 5?
Absolutely. I don't know if he's top 5. I'm not going to go top 5, but
5 to 10.
I think he's going to be somewhere in there for sure. I think there's going to be some offensive linemen. I think there's going to be defensive edge rushers and things of that nature in that top 5 that's going to push him out of that, and that's the reason why. But I think he is definitely going to be a high pick. He's going to be a high pick to somebody.
Yeah, the first team that needs a linebacker definitely is going to grab Devin Floyd.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
The kid is a stud. He's like, 6'3", 230, fast, strong as hell. I mean, I think he was battling injury his second season, right? I think he was he hurt that second season that he didn't play too much?
Right.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, and I know this is unrealistic and I don't expect this to happen, but, I would love to see the Cowboys release Van Der Esch and get rid of him because he's just not worth the money and he's injury prone, things like that. I don't think Van Der Esch is a solution at linebacker for the Cowboys. Obviously, you got Micah Parsons, who's just having a tremendous breakout rookie season. And I would love to see the Cowboys even draft up and pair him up with a Devin Lloyd. I think that would be one hell of a linebacker to go with that front 4 or front 3.
I personally would love for Dallas to go secondary, grab a corner, grab a shutdown corner, because I feel like last season we were right there for Surtain and we were right there for Horn. And they were both taken back to back too, which got me pissed because I was thinking, if Surtain goes, which he went, all right, cool, we could get Horn. And then Horn went right after that. But I'm not mad at us picking Micah Parsons because he's been phenomenal. He was phenomenal last season. But hopefully, I feel like Dallas is good with the front 7. It's that secondary, man. When you have a guy that gives up stupid amount of yards and big plays, I mean, I think Diggs is good and all, and the picks was great. But we need a shutdown corner, a corner that's not going to give up yards, that's going to make sure he locks down one whole side of the field.
Quick question, guys, before you go. So John Suggs says, did you see the meme of him and Adam Sandler from The Longest Yard, same number and black uniform?
I think I sent that one, Jay. I showed it to you last night.
I think you did. That was pretty damn funny. I laughed.
With Brucey.
Yeah, I laughed so hard on that one. I did. I almost fell out of my chair. And then we got Dustin Reese saying early second-round pick because of where he went to school. Could get in the late first if he is projected, if he's a project-led 23 right now. John Suggs, and this is the question I have for Gonzo. John Suggs says, you think Devin Lloyd will beat Nakobe Dean for the first linebacker spot?
Yeah, man, he had like 111 tackles. 111 total tackles last season.
Sander. I love you, buddy. You're speaking out of turn.
Oh, sorry,
I'm going to need you to back it down a little bit.
Just want to reach across the screen.
Gonzo. And Gonzo only.
I think Lloyd is going to be the first linebacker taken. In some of the mock drafts, they have him going at number 9. Well, they did have him going at number 9 to the Broncos. But, of course, the Broncos don't have that pick no more. But Lloyd, he reminds me a lot of Darius Leonard from the Colts. He's built like that, has that long wingspan. He's athletic. I think he's going to be a real good NFL player.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, Sander, I wasn't trying to cut you off, man.
You're good, brother.
Look, when you got a name like Sander Arroyo-Sanchez, I understand your need to speak because that's a hell of a name.
I think he probably goes between 15 and 20.
15 and 20?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
First round.
Logan, your thoughts on Devin Lloyd. Where do you think he's going to wind up going?
Dude's a stud, right? I mean, like you said, he was a semifinalist, runner-up for the Buck Just Award for the best linebacker in college football. Lost it to Nakobe Dean this past year, who might go before. Those are the top 2 linebackers in this draft. Don't get it twisted. Him and Dean are the top 2. Some mock drafts I was looking at had him going to the Eagles at I think 19, so like about middle to later round, first round for sure. I don't see him slipping to the second. But the thing too is he's probably the better cover in terms of his pass coverage because he used to be a safety, so he's got that ability in him to be a good pass coverage linebacker. He's not, and plus he can get to the quarterback, so he can do anything he wants to. He can tackle like crazy. He's got good tackling, got good precision, got good accuracy, all those things you want. And I mean, it would not surprise me at all if he went above Nakobe. But I mean, both those dudes are going to be studs, I think, because I mean, they might give it to Dean just because he did win that award and Georgia won a national championship. But I think Devin Lloyd might have a slight edge on him, honestly. And Damon said I could see him go. He'd be a good fit for the Giants, honestly. I think so.
So, and another thing I like about Lloyd is he has a high IQ.
Yeah, he's smart.
And he got better from last season and this season. He got way better at coverage.
Right.
So that shows he's studying and putting in the work to be better at coverage, and he showed it on the field.
Plus,
if you want to talk about coverage, look at the game log against Arizona. You know, when they played Arizona and Oregon, he was just all over the field. He made big plays in those games, and they won those games because of his big plays. So yeah, Devin Lloyd looks like he's gonna be one of those dudes. And like you said, Chris, if he's anything like a Darius Leonard, you got a chance. You got a winner.
I like how Anthony Price says Jay had to bring in the Cowboys. Hey, I know, whatever. I like the guy, whatever. We're going to move on. We're going to talk about LSU lands Arizona star quarterback Jalen Daniels via the portal. This guy is probably the best quarterback in the portal, or has gone to the portal. He threw for 6,000 yards, 32 TDs. Best quarterback, I believe, in the transfer portal. He's competing against quite a few guys, though, at LSU. He's got to go against Brennan. Yeah, Brennan, the redshirt freshman, Nussmeier, Walker, Howard, and then, of course, him. So they got quite a few quarterbacks there at LSU. So it's going to be a very interesting camp, a spring and summer camp to evaluate these guys. I think he's got a strong arm, and he plays with his feet. Last year, he threw for 2,380, 10 touch, 10 pick. He's about 6'3", 185, so he's a little bit on the lean side. I'd like to see him bulk up just a little bit, but I think he's going to be a good prospect for LSU. What do you think, Sander?
I mean, when you look at LSU and Brian Kelly, what he's doing over there, he just brought another quarterback to an already stacked quarterback room. And as good as Jaden Daniels was last year, do you trust him going into LSU for going against Saban? Do you trust him against Georgia? Do you trust him against Ole Miss in the SEC? I think it's going to be really tough for him to get acclimated in that division, in that conference, because it's the big boy league. When you're in the SEC, you're in the big boy league. It's all good what you do in Arizona in the Pac. I believe that they're in the Pac-12. It's all good what you do over there, but once you're in the SEC, the lights are bigger, the lights are brighter, the games are more meaningful. So I don't know. I'm not expecting much from Daniels in year one with LSU. I don't expect anything big from LSU. Period.
I'm not expecting a whole lot from Daniels either. I mean, he had a great freshman year at Arizona State, but since then he's been real inconsistent. Last year he had his best completion percentage of his career, but he had the worst passer rating of his career. So it ain't like he's been struggling. He hasn't been playing at the top of his game. And that was in the Pac-12. You're moving to a lot better conference, and that quarterback room there. He might have trouble being the starter on that team.
Brendan Miles is still the number one on the depth chart. Like, if you look at the depth chart right now, Brendan Miles is still number one. Yeah. So. Yeah,
that's true. Logan?
I saw someone say this could be like a Joe Burrow moment, and I could not agree less with that. I don't see that. I mean, look, no one. Look, nah. I mean, he's a solid quarterback. I think that he'll compete in training camp and everything for that starting job. It's going to be a little tough because, like you said, it is the SEC. LSU struggled mightily last year, and I mean they need a lot of help. So I mean, obviously ASU didn't want him. I don't know if y'all saw the video of where they trashed his locker room after he left. That was awful. But I mean, I'm sure he's happy to get a fresh start in LSU with Coach Kelly. And I mean, he might make a little bit of. I don't see him making a playoff appearance or nothing crazy. I think they'll improve if he's under quarterback a little bit than last year. Last year sucked.
Yeah, but they got to improve their offensive line, or it's not really going to matter who they have at quarterback.
Exactly.
LSU reminds me of the New York Giants of college football. They have that one like spark of lightning, catch it in a bottle year, and every other year is a shit show.
He said, outside of Joe Burrow and Hurts, the portal's just an excuse for prospects to run from a challenge.
Yeah.
It looks like a Justin Fields situation. I don't know if it's Justin Fields' situation, but yeah. I think that's a little bit of a stretch on Damian.
I don't think they're running from a challenge. I feel like if you're a 4-star quarterback and there's a 4-star already on the team, then what's the point? Just go somewhere else so you can get your start,
Yeah, absolutely.
There's only a certain window you can be a college quarterback. Let's not forget that.
Exactly. So
you can't stay there forever in the NFL.
I don't think really it's running from a challenge. I feel like and I get the concept of if you feel like you're the best, then you should have no problem in competing, which is fine and dandy. But this isn't the pros. This is college. So like I said, if there's already a 4-star starting, just go somewhere else, and get your numbers. Because in college, you're just trying to get your numbers to go to the league to get paid. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So,
all right, we're going to roll into the AEW Revolution recap.
What a night that was, Jay and Chris.
Yes, that was a fun night. All of us watching it together like that.
That was we all got together. We didn't stream it. We were just going to have a little get. This was kind of like a test for what we were going to do at WrestleMania, right? But we didn't go live, and it worked out. It worked out really well, I'd say. Yeah,
I think it did. I think we had a lot of good times, lots of good stories, lots of good matches. Yeah, absolutely. There was quite a few. I think the CM Punk one was probably my favorite one. I liked watching him take out MJF and kind of get back, what they did to him the last time. So I liked it. I enjoyed it. What was your favorite moment, Chris?
My favorite moment was favorite match was probably CM Punk and MJF in the dog collar match.
Yeah.
I also really enjoyed the Moxley and Bryan match. I thought that was real good. I thought Paige and Cole was good there in the main event. The only thing that I really didn't care for in that match was I thought there was way too many super kicks. I think there was like 30 super kicks thrown in that match.
Yeah.
But other than that, I really enjoyed the pay-per-view, but probably Punk and MJF was my favorite just because I kind of like that bloody kind of hardcore style.
Yeah, you want to see that in WWE. That AEW definitely gets after it, don't they?
Damn right.
I mean, I don't know about AEW, but they like I said before in the earlier shows, AEW lost the baddest WWE superstar female to the WWE, so I don't want to hear it. What's her name? Nikita Lyons. Oh man.
Sander, you made a comment on last Saturday.
WWE's women division is way better than
AEW. Go take 5 more.
Hey, look, I've been trying to watch a little bit of AEW here because I know one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, Chris Jericho. I guess he's one of the big heads on there. Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely gonna give it a shot, watch some more. I got the Fire Stick at the crib, so I'm able to stream and watch all the pay-per-views, legally.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we do everything legally here, Sander.
Yeah, we do everything legally.
Yeah, we definitely try to walk the right line. Logan, did you say your favorite part of it?
No, I did not, Jay. But it was good. How have none of y'all mentioned Sting at 6?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw that clip. That clip.
How come none of y'all mentioned that? That was crazy.
Logan, real quick.
Hey, we were all saying
it was
Go ahead.
It was kind of weird. Don't you think it was kind of weird and scary that he was beating someone up in front of these 2 little girls that were scared shitless? Like they did not want to move there, and the mom was like holding one of the daughters, like, "Oh my God, get this man away from us!" and then he just dives onto tables.
He don't care.
No, I mean it was great because we was all watching the group, and he was up there. We were all saying, "No, he ain't gonna do this. He ain't gonna do it.
He ain't gonna do
it." Yeah,
and he did it.
I gotta tell you earlier. I mean, the guy's 62, jumping off a railing into table. I said, right. I'm 49, and I wouldn't do that.
Yo, he's 62. Still going at it.
Wow. He's still in good shape too. That's the thing.
Listen,
also, we all bet Jay a T-shirt because Jay was the only one in our whole group who thought Ty Conti was going to win the TBS champion. So we all put it was originally me and Jay. Then Chris got into it. Then Pride, and then Frankie, and probably someone else. So Jay had like 4 or 5 T-shirts on the line, and safe to say he is not getting those.
I remember watching Sting.
Yeah, man. Hey,
Bash.
I'll tell you what, though. I'm watching more AEW now than I was, but the AEW women's division has a long way to go.
Yeah, it still needs some fine tuning. It ain't perfect, but they got some good men's talent, like Damian said too.
Oh yeah.
William Regal showed up though.
That was cool.
I thought the Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa was a pretty decent match.
I said the one that we watched a couple of weeks ago that was better. I think most because it's a hardcore match, but it was all right. But I mean, the rest of the show was pretty good. The World Championship match was solid. The Triple Threat Tag Team match with Red Dragon and the Young Bucks, and that was pretty solid too.
I do have a question for you guys. If you guys could compare this pay-per-view Revolution to WWE, which pay-per-view would it be in the WWE?
Ooh, sounds a little tough. I don't know. Can you really?
What time of the year? Because I know WrestleMania is coming up for the WWE.
Yeah, this isn't like their Mania show.
What's the WrestleMania for AEW?
Probably the All-Ins or the Double or Nothings, maybe, because they only have 4 pay-per-views a year.
Oh,
they don't have 12, okay. So it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to equal them out,
Okay.
But
okay.
I will say it was cool though. Seeing CM Punk come out to his old Ring of Honor theme and wearing the fight shorts, that was pretty dope.
I would compare Revolution to it'd be maybe a elimination chamber, like in that time area if they were doing it every month, maybe.
Right, because Elimination Chamber was the most recent.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I guess we can go with that. But yeah, also you mentioned your Chris Jericho. He had a good match on the show. He almost broke his neck, but he had a really good opening match though, dude. Man,
Chris Jericho. I remember watching him.
He can still go.
He can still go too.
Yeah, bro, and he lost mad weight from when he first started at AEW.
Yeah.
He was a little chubby.
Dude.
I think he was drinking a little bit too much champagne.
He was doing too much of this. Too much of this in his music videos. Too much of this.
Hey, I'm gonna see him in a couple weeks. Here in about 2-3 weeks in concert. I'm gonna go watch him.
Him and Eddie had a good match though. I thought really good match.
Yeah,
I thought so.
But yeah, overall really good pay-per-view. I enjoyed it, and also Big Wardlow getting the win, getting the TBS title shot soon. That's gonna be good.
As we segue back into the NBA, Jason Tatum had a hell of a night, did he not, folks? He put up 54. He put up 54 points on a Kyrie Irving and Durant-led team. 4th 50-point game of his career. They took out the Nets, 126-120. 14th win in the past 16 games for the Celtics. So the Celtics are definitely ascending up the ranks. 34 points in the second half, 16-30 shooting, 8-15 from the three-point line, 14-7 from free throws, 5 rebounds, 3 assists for Jason Tatum. How much better could he have played? I can't imagine he could have played any better than that. Nets have lost 17 of the past 20, so they're actually struggling pretty rough right now. Three-point line, driving to the rim, foul line shooting, scoring from different ways. Jason Tatum just took it to them. And now they are a game and a half out of second place behind the 76ers. And the Celtics played with obviously really good defense. Sander, take away from the Celtics and Jason Tatum's 54 points.
Look, man, you call him Jason Tatum. I call him Jason Tate-Yums. It's like, nah, but listen, man, the dude is a superstar. He definitely is legit. He arrived when it was the Boston Celtics against Cleveland in the playoffs. Like he definitely let his presence be known from that moment forward. From that moment forward, he's done nothing but progress in this league, evolving his game. I remember Tatum when Kobe, rest in peace, when he was alive, he was definitely one of Tatum's mentors. He was definitely trying to learn the game, learn the post moves, that little shimmy fadeaway move that you see right now on the screen. That's definitely in honor of Kobe teaching him that move. The kid is definitely everything that you want to build your team around. I believe he's a great leader. He's definitely a great role model on and off the court. I don't think since he's been in the league, you've heard any nonsense with Jason Tatum, any disgruntledness, even through the Kyrie nonsense. I don't think you heard Jason Tatum really voice or strongly any type of disgruntledness. Jason Tatum is the guy that you want to build around. 54 points on the Nets. That's very impressive. I think he's like averaging 28, 8 and 4, I believe, for the season. So he's definitely been solid all season. Unfortunately, though, guys, I don't think the Boston Celtics, when you put them up there with the Miami Heat, with the Philadelphia 76ers, I don't think they hold strongly to those teams. I don't think they can hold their own. I think they're outmatched. They don't have the depth. It's really Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, or bust. So I don't think that style of play in the playoffs is going to go far. Even against the Bulls, I don't think they could beat the Bulls in a 7-game series. So I think the Boston Celtics are at best a first-round, a second-round exit, but most likely trending towards a first-round exit. I just don't think that they have enough as a team to try and beat, to try and win a series. I think when you look at them against the Bulls, the Heat, and the Philadelphia 76ers, I just think they fall short.
Yeah, real quick, John Suggs says 76ers are a threat. John Suggs also says, oh, God, where's Freddie? You know he'd be talking about the Lakers, blah, blah, blah. And Jason Tatum is the next Larry Bird from Hernandez. I don't believe that, but if you want to think that, I'll let you have it.
No. Can we stop saying everybody's the next Larry Bird? Like, no one's going to be the next Larry, man.
Let's pump the brakes on the Larry Bird.
Yeah, chill.
No one's the next Larry. No one is the next Larry. Larry is Larry.
Go time out there. You deserve it.
Hey, Freddie Henderson says fire. Dustin says Jason Tatum is a very underrated player, which I do think he is in this league because he plays in the same conference as Embiid, Harden, Durant, Irving, and Giannis. He'll never get the respect he deserves. And then, of course, Dustin says, Sander, coming from a Bulls fan, the Celtics can take the Bulls out in a 7-game series. Bulls are battered and bruised and are picking the worst time to play their worst ball of the season. Yeah.
Well, if both teams are at their healthiest, I believe the Bulls can beat the Celtics.
Yeah, if the Bulls are healthy, I believe that as well.
Yeah.
Even though, if you look at the record against the Bulls versus like everybody in the playoffs, they're horrible.
They're not good against teams. I don't think they've won a game against any top 3 seeded teams this year.
No, they haven't.
Miami beat
500. They're right at 500, so it's a 50-50 shot.
Yep.
They're not. I don't think.
Thoughts on Tatum's 54-point game?
Oh man, he looked good. And the question up here said, "Is he a superstar?" I think he's been a superstar for a few years now. In my opinion, he's severely underrated, like Dustin was saying. But I think he's better than Kyrie Irving myself. I'd rather, if I was putting the team together, I'd take Tatum over Irving if I'm putting the team together.
That one, Jay. I mean, let's not forget this dude he just turned 24 like last week.
Yes, he's still young,
and he's improved each and every year. He's averaging 26.
I could take Tatum. I could take Tatum over Kyrie.
He'll play in all the games too. You don't have to worry about sitting out half of them.
That's true.
He averages 26.5, 4.2 assists, and career high 8.2 rebounds. And he shoots pretty well too. From three, it's not the best. It's only 33%, but he shoots 43% from the field. So I mean, he's taking more shots, but I mean, the Celtics need that though.
He's been on a tear. The last 5 games, he's been on a tear. He went 54, 37, 33, 26, and 26. So he's been balling. The only thing that I fear is that the Celtics fall off in the end of the like towards the playoff time.
And Jay, when we did a topic probably the other week or the week prior, I said the Celtics are a team to look out for, and they've been right.
Yeah, you did. I remember you saying that
because they were right there.
Guys, I feel like there's a lot of disrespect, and I'm gonna let it be known because it's my first time talking to you guys, so I want to voice my opinions. I want you guys to know that from now on, you know how I feel. I'm not gonna be taking lightly the disrespect that you guys are giving the Miami Heat. Like Miami has been balling all season. We're not getting talked about. We're getting overlooked. I heard some disrespectful comment the other day that Miami is like the Atlanta Hawks.
Ooh.
Miami Heat have been to the finals. We've won finals. There is no comparison of the Miami Heat being a first seed this year to that Atlanta Hawk first seed that got trashed by LeBron and the Cavs. That year that Atlanta was the number 1 seed and they got swept by the Cavs. So please, can we stop disrespecting Miami and put them up there as a contender? Because Miami has a live shot to win it this year as anybody else in the NBA. So I'm not going to keep on taking this Miami slander. Eric Spoelstra is a top 15 coach all time. You heard it.
Hey, listen. Hey, real quick. Dustin Reese says the Bulls are 0-15 against the top 3 teams in the East and West. That's a pretty strong statement, and it's pretty accurate facts. John Suggs says, will the Hawks pass the Nets? After all, they are a game and a half a game behind them. Yeah, half a game. And then Gridiron Yuki says, bye-bye, Russell Wilson. He also says the NFC West division could be ours now. And he says, Damian Hernandez says the Suns are more like the Hawks. Damian, I don't know what you're watching, what you're smoking, what you're drinking. But, yeah, we're just going to leave. Hey, sometimes you just got to leave well enough alone, Logan. We're just going to leave it alone, man.
Yeah. I'm convinced Damian is a Russian spy that works at a Russian farm just built to troll the ASAP network.
Yeah, he went straight to Russian. He went straight to Russian spy. I don't know if I was going that far, but dadgum. Okay. All right, folks, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on from him real quick, and we're going to talk about Calvin Ridley suspended 1 year for gambling. I think I'm gonna save this one, Logan. We're not gonna talk about that. We're gonna save this for Thursday.
We'll save it.
So we're gonna bypass that one for now. We'll talk more about that on Thursday. Big East tournament begins on Wednesday, folks. Woo. Xavier, Butler, St. John's, DePaul, Seton Hall, Georgetown. I tell you, man, hey, I think if I'm looking at this and I'm going to take a shot here, I got Villanova. I'm going to take Villanova in this.
You lost me already, Jay.
I'm taking – I know I lost you, but I just have a feeling about Villanova, and I'm going to stay with Villanova. What are your guys' thoughts on Sander? Give me your thoughts on the Big East tournament coming up on Wednesday.
I mean, it's the only thought that's right, guys. It's UConn. It's UConn all day, every day. My UConn Huskies are.
Yeah, that's because you live in Connecticut. That's because you live in Connecticut, Sander.
UConn.
Don't let the bias fool you. I'm gonna hit you with some facts right now. UConn has shown all season the toughness, the grittiness. They've been very good defensively all year. Yeah, I believe Dan Hurley has done a tremendous job coaching this team this year compared to what happened last year. And when you compare UConn to the big games they've had this season, they've done really well. They've won those games. The only big game they lost was Providence, and they gave up 85 points. Name another team that has scored 80-plus points on UConn. I'll wait. I'll tell you. None. I believe that UConn right now, they're peaking at the best time. They're going to heat up for this tournament. And I think they'll ride it all the way to the finals and take the tournament.
By the way, before Gonzo goes, I'm going to start trolling you on Thursday. The game's at 9:30. Just know that I'll be lurking in the background somewhere to snap up on you. Gonzo. Gonzo, who do you got, Bubba?
I'd like to see Butler make a run here just because they're only about 40 minutes from where I live. But I think it's going to be Villanova that's going to win the Big East tournament. I think a lot of it's going to come down to coaching. Jay Wright's a great college coach. Yeah. And I mean, Villanova's been there. Where with Providence, I think they're still building up to get to have that experience. But I'd like to see Butler make a run and upset Providence there in the quarterfinals.
Oh, that would be nice. I would like to see that as well. Logan, thoughts? Who you got, brother?
You know how I do things, Jay. I never like to agree with anyone. I like to do my own lane. So I'm gonna go a little bit off cuff here. I'm gonna go with Creighton getting the surprise win here.
Okay.
And they might get hot. They might take it. You never know. I mean, they did have that tough game with Providence, right? A while back, 3 overtimes. So they could take it again. Who knows?
I just think I like RJ Cole's play right now. Again, it's the UConn homer, but I think UConn RJ Cole right now, he's playing well. He's running that team the best way they can right now. And like I said, shout outs to Dan Hurley for turning this organization around. The past few years haven't been good for UConn, but I think this is the year that we can make a run, and it all starts with this tournament right here.
Oh, don't get me wrong. That semifinal match game between Villanova and UConn, if they both make it, it could be a hell of a game.
And so John Suggs thinks Marquette or UConn will probably take it. Guster Reese says Marquette is my dark horse to win this, but right now I am taking Nova, which I'm glad he agrees with me. Providence had the better season, but this is Nova. Jay Wright has been there and done that. He also goes on to say the only thing to watch right now in March Madness is Duke. This is Coach K's farewell tour and final run. Does Duke have it in them to send them out on top? I don't think they do. I think they're a great team. They obviously lost at Cameron Stadium to the UNC. I just don't. It would be a great storyline to send him out on top. I just don't think that happens.
That was shady. I think North Carolina should have just gave him that win. Like, it was one win. Like, it was his last.
You still got to put up a good team. It's got to be respectable, man. John says no. Got that ass curb stomped at home this past weekend. A team that plays defense can beat Duke. And that's kind of where I see that as well. So we'll see. We'll see. Look, stranger things have happened once you get to the NCAA tourney. Stranger things can happen.
Oh, yeah. Anything can happen once you get in that tournament.
Look at Iona.
Right. We're gonna turn our attention now to Kentucky Stuns #1, South Carolina.
That's wild. That is wild.
I got to be honest with you. I did not see this coming. I did not.
You and 99% of America. You and everybody other than anybody that lives in Kentucky.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you. This one took me for a loop. For the SEC title, that's just insane to me. Sander, go ahead and give me your thoughts on Kentucky stunning South Carolina.
I mean, stunners. South Carolina has been a staple for how many years now? Like I said, and I bring it back to UConn, but South Carolina has been one of those teams that's given UConn the business the past few years. So for them to lose a #1 seed in this game, like if you looked at the betting odds, like they were plus like $1 million, you know. So it's just crazy. Good win for Kentucky. Definitely a momentum builder. Let them know that they can still hang with the big girls. And it's college basketball, guys. Like, it's literally just like NFL Sunday. Anybody could get got on any day. So a good win for Kentucky. Bad loss for South Carolina, because you don't want to have a loss like that going into the tournament, because it's like, damn, now you really feel vulnerable. And that could be the beginning of the end, you know, in some worst cases. So.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you. Gonzo, thoughts on Kentucky stunning South Carolina?
Oh, man, that was a crazy game. South Carolina was down by 9 at halftime, and they outplayed Kentucky outplayed South Carolina in the second half. I mean, yeah, Kentucky was ranked 7th in the country, but nobody expected Kentucky to beat South Carolina. They only had one loss on the season. And I do agree that's a bad loss, because you don't want to go into tournament time with coming off a bad loss like that. You want to have momentum build up. I think Kentucky or South Carolina kind of lost a little bit of their momentum that they could have had going into the NCAA tournament.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Logan?
Yeah, I mean, big win for Kentucky right now. A lot of people saw this. South Carolina's only lost twice this season. Kentucky, don't get me wrong, they're a good team, but no one thought they would win. It was going to be a tough, and man, let me just say big shout out to Driana Edwards, man. 27 points, 9 rebounds, almost had a double-double. But in the fourth quarter is where she did her business, man. She put on a clinic, scored 12 of her 27 points in that fourth quarter. So when it comes to being clutch, plus she hit that game-winning shot at the end, I mean, I think her WNBA draft stock just went up more and more. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah.
Big win for
100%.
100%.
And South Carolina only scored 7 points in the fourth quarter.
Right.
Yeah.
Their defense shut them down.
Yeah,
John goes on to say that NC State. He says NC State is his dark horse to win it all. Dustin Reese says this is why they call it March Madness. I just watched the number 1 overall seed in Division III blow a 16-point halftime lead at home on Saturday and get the upset. So it is like I said, it's March Madness, man. Hey, once you enter into that bracket,
what division you win.
Yeah, and who wins as well with this South Carolina loss? The UConn women's team, they win as well because they look at it as, hey, we could beat them girls too. Because for a long time now, UConn women has been the head honcho in college basketball. So they look at it as, we know we haven't been as great as we had been before, but we could beat them girls too. So it's a big win for the UConn for the women's basketball college world right now.
Absolutely. Logan, did you already go on this one?
Yep, just went.
All right, man. Hey, we're going to go to MLB for a second. They agreed to some rule changes. They finally agreed to the pitch clock, which I know originally they had 2 pitch clocks. One was 14 seconds for empty bases and 19 seconds for runners on base. And now they have done away with the second pitch clock, and it is going to just be 1 pitch clock. And 14 seconds is what it's going to be. Obviously, I guess they're getting – Logan, did they get rid of the shift or are they keeping the shift?
They banned the shift, Jay. No more shifts.
Yeah, so they banned it, which I think is stupid, but whatever.
They also made the bases a little bit bigger.
I don't care about the bases being a little bit bigger, but banning the shift is stupid.
Yeah.
That's just stupid to me.
Does anybody know the reasoning on making the bases bigger?
I can look it up real quick.
To entice teams to steal more bases.
I mean, that makes sense, kind of, but I think of more of it as a thing of, we've seen kind of a lot over recent years of pitchers running over to the bag and stepping their foot too close and getting it stepped. That's the only reason I can think
that
of.
Too.
I can see at first base. I can see at first base, yes, but the other bases don't make a whole lot of sense to me.
I mean, maybe too. Second when they slide into them trying to break up double play, but yeah. So it says, I see just a quick article here. It says the size of first, second, and third base will all be increased from 15 inches square to 18 inches square. It's only 3 inches. And then the reason why, I see something article here. They did it in AAA, I think, but yeah. So that's so it says, there's nothing worse in MLB than having a player beat the ball to the bag, but oversliding, getting tagging out. So that too, I guess, is oversliding on a certain pace. I mean, okay. I don't, like I said, I'm not for or against it. It don't matter to me. The pitch clock I'm cool with. I mean, because some pitchers can take 45 seconds to a minute to start their windup, which just drags. As for the shift, why would you ban it? It's strategy. I told Jay, it's like how the NBA zone defenses years ago, and then they brought them back. I think it comes back. I don't think they keep it banned. It's just, I mean, it's not like anyone's like, oh boy, look at that great shift right there. It's strategy. Right. That's all it is. That's all it is just strategy. So Dustin Reese says, what is the MLB? There will be no MLB this year. If you want baseball, watch high school, college, or minor league, I guess, ball, which is my opinion, the better to watch anyways. Dustin also goes on to say more steals that prevented injuries at first base with the baseline rule. And he also goes on to say the slide rule at second base is why they are making it bigger. They want to protect, like you said earlier, all parties involved. John Suggs says, I'm sticking with my third week of April. Jay, when MLB will start? Laugh out loud. And then Dustin goes on to say, pitch clock is the Yu Darvish. Good point.
I don't like it. I like having the shift. I like having the pitch clock because I think it speeds up the damn game. Yep. I don't care about the bases being a little bit bigger. That is what it is. But the whole shift really just pisses me off because I like strategy. I love strategy.
You know how much time went into all these managers, personnel guys, Jay, who probably get fired just for that reason of looking at, well, if we move our third baseman over here to left field, then we'll be fine. Just saying.
So, folks, we have come to the last topic. As you know, Unscripted is continuously educating me on the rules and tribulations of wrestling and what it all is involved. And this is our last segment is always the history lesson for me. And this one Logan picked out was Jeff Hardy versus The Undertaker ladder match. And I will say this, they had the belt up there. And several times I thought that Jeff Hardy was going to get the belt. And it wound up being Undertaker taking it at the end. Lots of good ladder punches and ladder kicks and throws and all that stuff. Undertaker had him down. Undertaker went up there and got the damn belt. Gets on his motorcycle. Starts to go down the tunnel. Looks back and because Hardy got on the microphone saying, "You didn't break me. You got the belt, but you didn't break me." So then what does Undertaker do? He gets off his motorcycle. He goes back to the stage. And then I think he power drives him one more time. And then at the end of it, I guess he looked at Jeff Hardy. Undertaker looked at Jeff Hardy, and I guess he felt like Hardy had a lot of heart. And so he gave him a little bit of respect and helped him up a little bit, and then raised his hand in the air as to show respect to Hardy that, hey, you took a beating and you kept on ticking. And that was the end of the match. Undertaker gets the belt. Sander, do you have any reaction to this? I don't know if you caught this match earlier.
I saw this live as a kid, man. Like, listen,
okay,
I'm one of those guys that always thought that Jeff Hardy took ass whoopings like this as punishment from Vince McMahon for showing up to work drunk all the damn time. I lost count how many times I seen matches of Jeff Hardy, and even a Undertaker match that he had before where his face was painted blue. He looked shit-faced in that match. I think, and because of that, I think Vince McMahon has him go out there and take these severe beatings because it's like, look, man, like you can't keep doing this. And I feel like a lot of the WWE superstars realize the type of superstar that Jeff Hardy was and is. Like he's that dude that he's a phenomenal talent, but he just lets everything ruin it. So Jeff Hardy had that run in the WWE where it's like he was the fan favorite. He was probably my favorite tag team. One part of a tag team duo of all time is Jeff Hardy. He just had that type of career where it's like, damn, it's like the child that the parents want him to do so good, but he just screws it up every single time. I feel like that's the role that Jeff Hardy played in real life and in the WWE. But nonetheless, I mean, this match was phenomenal. I caught some of it. It refreshed my memory a little bit before we started the show. It was just Jeff Hardy was always that dude that left it all on the ring, gave it all. Every time you thought that Jeff Hardy couldn't top himself, he topped himself, jumping off the backlash towers, jumping off like 50 feet onto tables. He's done it all. He was really
absolutely.
He was one of like not one of the first because you got Jimmy Fly Snuka, but he was one of those pioneer high flyer daredevils that just when you thought he ain't gonna do it, he gonna do it. So amazing match, amazing career. Obviously, both of them are gonna be Hall of Famers. So there's really nothing else I can say.
What's interesting to me, before Gonzo gives his thoughts on the match, John Suggs says, Jay, did you do your homework that Logan told you to do over the weekend as the best cage match? Ha ha ha.
I told Jay you gotta watch Mankind and The Undertaker. Jay, did you watch it or not?
You gotta watch
I have not watched it. Yes, I've been a bad boy. I'm gonna have to take an incomplete. I will watch it. Hey, do me
you can find
send me the link on it, Logan. Send me the link because you know where the link is. Send me the link on. I'll watch it.
Okay, I will do that for you, and we'll just review that on Thursday. Screw it.
Yeah, we'll just make that the wrestling match for Thursday.
That was going to be my choice last week, but I couldn't find it on the whole match on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll keep looking. We'll dig around.
Jay,
somewhere.
have you ever watched Chris Jericho versus Stone Cold versus Rock?
No.
We tried. We tried to keep them kind of short, Sander. We tried to keep them around 30 minutes so Jay don't take all day. But we told him that.
Hey, Logan got choked today. Hey, listen. Hey, Dustin Reese goes on to chime in. The day that wrestling died is when Undertaker called it a career, the GOAT of the sports entertainment industry, and a person that was the definition of sports entertainment. He made WWE what it is today and will go down as the greatest ever, in my opinion. And I would wholeheartedly agree with you. Yeah. Gonzo, thoughts on the match?
Oh, it was a fun match to go back and watch. It was actually the Undertaker's first ladder match.
Yeah.
And I liked how at the beginning Jeff Hardy came out and got on the Undertaker's bike, started playing the mind games with him right from the beginning. But like Sander said, Jeff Hardy was always going to do some of the craziest shit that he was going to see. But it was a fun match to go back and watch. It was another solid choice by Logan.
Yeah, it was a really good match. I got to be honest, it was a really good match.
Crazy.
Logan.
Yeah, because I think Jeff Hardy was like 25, 26 here. Super young still.
Yeah.
And until really this, you'd always seen he was great in the tag team, got a little bit of singles stuff, but nothing major. This was his first big shot at a world title. And like you said, Jay, there was a few moments where he looked like he was going to win that belt, that he was going to defy the odds, beat the 7-foot, 300-pound Undertaker. And, he's just this kind of scrawny 22-year-old kid. And then, of course, you got Jim Ross with one of the best lines he's ever had with "Climb the ladder, kid, make yourself famous."
Yeah.
That's iconic though. But like Sander said, I mean, I would say the worst part about not this match, but kind of what happened after is like what Sander was saying earlier. Jeff Hardy was released probably within a year of this match. Because he's had a very well known addiction to drugs, alcohol, you name it. But I mean, as you see, he's been back in WWE. He's left again. He went back. It's always been kind of back and forth. And I mean, honestly, he probably should have won the world title more than once or twice. Yeah. He got two major title reigns. But man, I mean, he's probably one of the most popular wrestlers ever in terms of just, especially nowadays. You can see damn near everyone was influenced by watching him in this match and all of his matches and whatnot. And I mean, it was a great match, very good match. And I mean, Undertaker, he's never going to have a bad match unless he's old.
Yeah, but it just goes to show you, man, drugs can really ruin a person's career. Yeah. It doesn't matter what sport you're in. If you have an issue with addiction, man, it's going to ruin you. And there's no talent that can surpass an addiction. It just doesn't happen that way.
Yeah,
but great match.
And especially Jay, real quick, it's exasperated even more when it's on live TV because, like I mentioned, there's been countless times where it was noticed where Jeff Hardy's on TV live on a match and he's shit-faced. I remember watching him. After his stint with the WWE, he hopped on TNA for a little bit, and he had a match with Sting where it was short and not sweet because he was drunk in the match. That's a match you should watch just to see like the down.
It ain't a classic. I'm gonna tell you that much.
Jeff, it's not a classic because even during the match, you can kind of hear Sting tell Jeff Hardy like, "What the hell is your problem? Like, what is wrong with you?" And he just makes light work of him because Jeff Hardy is, like I said, he's that dude that had all the potential, he literally had the WWE universe in his hand because he was one of the most popular and all the kids loved him, his style. He had that connection with the emo crowd as well. The way he dressed, he had that whole crowd.
That was the style too. He was all on it.
He had all the potential to be a Shawn Michaels, a Kurt Angle, a Chris Jericho, like big name superstars, and it just fell short because of his addictions and his problems.
So Dustin Reese has a question for the three of you guys. He says, "I'm not a wrestling fan anymore, but I have a question for this amazing panel. Looking at the ACW, TNA, WWE, and AEW, a lot of former WWE superstars are on those rosters. What product is better to watch to get back into it?" WWE. And Sander, then Gonzo, then Logan. And that's how we're going to wrap up this evening.
Hey, Jay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah.
Hey, to go back to what Logan and Sander were saying about how famous Jeff Hardy was. Of course, I do my independent wrestling stuff. I stream the live shows. I've interviewed about 30 or 40 independent wrestlers, and all your younger ones that are in like their 20s. All of them say the guy that they watch the most and try to be like, and emulate their training off of is Jeff Hardy.
Because he's very electric.
Oh yeah, he's got that.
Even you know what? Hey, I will tell you this: when Jeff Hardy was introduced in this match, he was so electric. The way he did his body, the way he was coming out onto the stage. I mean, literally, it was like watching a cardio match. Watching him even come out onto the stage, it was just amazing. Like honestly, it was electrifying. It kept you on your feet. It was really amazing to watch him. It's just amazing.
Jay, the roar. I've been to a WWE event and Jeff Hardy wrestled at. The roar Jeff Hardy got is like the roar the UFC gives Nate Diaz and the other Diaz brother. It's that type of roar. He has that type of effect. He's that type of monumental figure. It's just everybody knows everything else that comes with Jeff Hardy and what came with Jeff Hardy. So that's why he's gonna take that hit, you know?
Yeah.
But as far as the question that you said, Jay, that Dustin asked, like I said, I don't watch much AEW. I definitely watch a lot of Impact, but I feel like the WWE is kind of like the UFC in the sense that there's Bellator, there's one champion, there's one FC, there's a bunch of different organizations that have great talent. But I feel like if you're not at the main show, then that's what you're gonna be measured as. You can be great. You can be great at AEW, and I think what wrestling is different though, because what wrestling is, you got those superstars that were big named at WWE, and their flair starts to go down. So now they go into like a secondary organization in AEW, which I feel like there's nothing wrong with that. I think the product of the quality of the product is still gonna be good, because in wrestling, like you gotta be shitty to mess up a wrestling product. And guys that are in AEW, I believe it was Cody Rhodes, right? Cody Rhodes, Y2J. Those are some of the big wigs guys. They're not only wrestlers there; they're also some of the few guys that actually started the company. So they got a good thing going. Like whenever you got guys that did the business, doing the business, I feel like you're always gonna thrive. So I don't see no war going on like back in the 90s. You had the war, like the Monday Night Wars with WCW and WWF. I don't see that happening, because I think the WWE is so big that they don't even care if you're on the same day as them, because they know you're not going to pull the same numbers as them. But they are open to the competition. So I think the competition with all the other organizations is always going to be great, because you may not see Sting no more in WWE, but you'll be able to see him in AEW. You won't be able to see Jeff Hardy on WWE, but you'll see him on TNA Impact when TNA was on. So I feel like the more organizations is always going to be good. So it's only when you get to like the real, and I'm not saying that wrestling isn't real, because I know them dudes get hurt, but I'm talking about when you get to like the real actual fighting, like the real fighting. If you're not in the UFC, you can be good and great somewhere else, but I feel like you're only going to be measured to the main product.
Yeah, good analogy, Gonzo.
Yeah, for me to answer this question with Dustin is, if you're wanting to get back into it, what I suggest is that's what I tell all my friends that haven't watched wrestling: find a local independent show in your area and go watch it, because the atmosphere, it's in a smaller place. There might only be 200-300 people in there, and some of them don't even draw that. But man, it's the atmosphere. It's great to see.
Hey guys, I have a question. Are you familiar with the NEW?
NEW.
Northeast Wrestling?
No.
No.
Where are they located at?
They're up in the Northeast.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I cover a lot of Indiana independent wrestling. I'm getting ready to start doing Ohio and some others. But to me, go watch that, because if you see that live in person, and then go watch WWE, AEW, decide which one fits you best, because that's a great thing about wrestling. There's something in all the organizations for everybody.
I agree with that. I agree.
I like watching them both. I don't get.
Were
to
you
watch
guys fans of ECW?
Oh, dude, I was I love ECW. I'm a big Paul Heyman fan anyway.
Okay.
But
ECW was ruthless.
I suggest go watch a local independent show, because man, there's some great talent that you see at them shows that are just as good as a lot of men and women you see on TV.
And
I agree with John Suggs saying. He's saying that I guess Eddie Guerrero and he's saying Eddie Guerrero and is more electrifying, and Rey Mysterio is more electrifying. But still, I mean, Jeff Hardy is I just love that intro. But anyway.
I don't think you could say more electrifying. I think they're all equally as electrifying because Jeff Hardy, man,
they're all on that same team.
Yeah. Jeff Hardy, man, you hear roars, dude. Like
to this day, too. It ain't like he
I might put Eddie Guerrero a little bit ahead of Jeff Hardy, but Jeff Hardy.
For sure. In the legacy board, Eddie Guerrero definitely ahead. You can even put Rob Van Dam ahead, but still, Jeff Hardy pulls that crowd because he connects to so many people.
So I wouldn't even put RVD ahead of Jeff Hardy.
True.
And for me, Justin, I would say this, just kind of comparing all. I'm not familiar with what ACW is. Are any of y'all have any clue what that is?
ACW.
No, I'm not sure what the ACW is.
Okay, yeah, I'm not too sure what that is either. TNA I haven't watched Impact in a while. I used to watch it a good bit in the mid to late 2000s, early 2010s.
Samoa Joe days.
Hey, Impact is pretty good right now.
Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle, Perk Angle,
AJ Styles.
Yeah, all back when their height was right, their peak. I know it's still around, it's still kicking, still doing good.
I just good right now.
I just haven't gotten a chance to watch it, honestly. I don't have cable, but
you don't need cable with the Fire Stick, Logan. I got you.
That should be our ad, Jay. We should get advertisements from Fire Sticks once we talk about them on the show. But I would say for WWE, that's for everyone. I mean, everyone knows what that is, right? If you've heard of wrestling, you know at least what WWE is. That's where you get, I'm not going to say some of the top tier in terms of like pure technical wrestling stuff like that, but if you want the amazing video packages, the other content, documentaries,
best
top tier production, the big shows in the biggest arenas, and also with very good, well-built talent who, some of them are wrestlers, some of them are former football players who are just mostly a little bit bigger in size, go to WWE. AEW is more of a, I would say, hardcore wrestling fan in terms of if you don't like a lot of talking, if you don't like a lot of just kind of backstage segments like that, AEW is more for in-ring talent. If you just want to see 2 hours of guys going at it in a ring and having technical matches. I mean, we all were astonished by the dog collar match from last Saturday. You're not going to see that in WWE. You're not going to see blood. You're not going to see that, they swear some on there.
So AEW is ECW. That's what you're saying, Logan.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Without all the New Jacks and Sabus and whatnot. But
New Jack. Oh,
it's a low-key ECW.
It is. And it appeals more to the hardcore wrestling fan. So if you enjoy like a lot of in-ring talent as opposed to probably, they do have some good promos, but I mean, like more promos, more glitz and glamours, more celebrities coming by. That's for AEW. But I mean, like you said, there's tons of wrestling out there that's on every freaking night now, pretty much. Yeah. So I mean, just go around, watch it. It's on Peacock. It's on TNT, TBS. It's on anywhere you can find a television, or if you have a screen, it's on there. And also, John said New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's another good option too.
Yeah,
if you want to look at a completely different world of wrestling, the fans don't cheer really much. They just kind of let it happen. And if you want to just get exposed to some new talent, that's always good to watch too.
I'm watching NXT right now.
Yeah.
Is it safe to say though, guys, that you got the NBA, you got the NFL, you got the UFC, and you got the WWE. Like the WWE falls in that category of organizations, and then you got the minor ones. So
all right, we're gonna do one last question, and then we're gonna get out. Damian Hernandez wants to ask you guys, what's your thoughts on having all their content on HBO Max instead of having their own streaming platform?
Yeah, I don't think it's confirmed yet, but there are talks that AEW is going to have their stuff on HBO Max. And I mean, it's smart. I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, AEW's on Peacock, or WWE's on Peacock. And I mean, let's keep in mind, John, they've only been around for 2-3 years.
And they already got a stream.
Right, and for them to be near or already confirmed, I'm not sure, to have a stream deal with HBO, that's big. That's really big.
Yeah. All right, folks. We have come to the end of the show. Final thoughts. Sander, final thoughts, brother.
Final thoughts, man. Like I said, it's been wonderful. You know, I appreciate this opportunity to speak with you fine gentlemen. Like I said, Jay, from when I first heard you talk, man, I really connected with you. You know, it's more than just the Dallas Cowboys thing. I feel like it's the logic that you bring when you talk sports. You know, you bring the logic, you bring the human factor into it, and I appreciate it. Chris, you know, from when I first heard you, you know, I really enjoyed your takes on the sports as well. You have that humble tone to yourself. You know, I feel like that you don't have like that big head. You want to be heard all the time. You want to make sure your take is the only take that's right. I appreciate that from you. And Logan, as I get to know you more and see you more, I feel like that you and I will connect more. I appreciate the opportunity that Jay right here gave me. And, you know, I look forward to maybe popping in a few times as a special guest in the future. Maybe, you know, hopefully be on the same show with Freddie. Freddie's my dude. I really, you know, enjoy all of you guys going at him the way y'all do. And look forward to maybe future endeavors, guys. This was awesome. This was great. I couldn't have, you know, pictured it going any better.
Yeah, we appreciate having you on, brother. You know, you're always welcome on the show. Gonzo, final thoughts.
Well, first, thanks, Sander, for joining us. And also, I want to thank you guys for having me again. Hey, you're
already family. Get past that.
I'm trying to make 2 weeks straight.
Yeah, man. You're on a roll.
Hey, you're doing it, though, man.
You're on a roll, Chris.
Yeah. Gonzo doesn't know, but I've subliminally brought him into the show. He just hasn't realized it yet. That's all.
Yeah, you're hired. You just haven't had your.
Yeah, you haven't heard about it yet.
But no,
yeah.
My final thought is I want to see. I need the Hoosiers to get hot. I want them to go on a Big Ten run in the Big Ten tournament, so I can watch them play for the Big Ten title Sunday when I go down to watch the Big Ten championships.
Amen. Logan, final thoughts, brother.
Final thoughts. Good show tonight, gentlemen. Pleasure having you on. Sander, for the first time seeing that beautiful mug of yours. Jay, I love hearing you call his name out every time he gets a comment in. Chris, thanks so much for coming on, dude. It's been a pleasure these last couple of days, couple of weeks. And, man, it's going to be fun, Jay. We got March Madness coming up. We got WrestleMania in about a month. And it's going to be fun, man. Tune in Thursday, 7 o'clock for some more awesome sports content.
Hey, man, we got some NBA basketball, too, man. The playoffs are right around the corner, man. And like I said, y'all keep on sleeping on my feet. But when I'm in South Beach with the trophy, you know.
Sports world's starting to pick up.
Hey, we got a lot of things on the horizon. Lots and lots. I love this. This is my favorite time of the year. Sometimes is when we get lots and lots of different sports activities, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're going to have a lot of fun talking about it. I'm kind of trying to dig this wrestling thing now, so it's a lot of fun. And I appreciate Logan and Frankie bringing me into it. And of course, Gonzo educates me every other day. Now I got Sander over here in my other ear educating me, so it's good stuff. I appreciate it, Sander. I appreciate you being on the show. And I'm going to say it one last time. If y'all want to see Sander come on the show, just throw it in the comments. As he always know, his name is Sander Arroyo-Sanchez.
Yes.
And that's how we do. That's how we do. And until next time, folks, which will be Thursday, we're going to talk some Calvin Ridley, some more wrestling, and God knows whatever else pops up in the news.
Maybe
and
you never know.
I'm about to
Hey, man, but for real, hey, we will see you guys on Thursday, 7 o'clock.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all.
Does it not go? Does it not go?
Right.
Logan, what's going on here, Logan?
Whole sports all.
I clicked it.
They want us to keep going.
I'm about to.
Bro, I literally. That's what I love about this show. I literally clicked on it and it won't play the damn.
Whole sports all plays.
Bro,
I think we don't.
You can't get it. All right, folks. Hey, listen. I can't make this show seem cool going out of here. So I'm just gonna hit the end broadcast, and y'all can talk about it and talk behind it.
All sports, all plays.
Logan, I hope this will let me end this damn broadcast.
365, we're making a play. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same.
It literally is clicking, but nothing. Oh, there he goes. There he is.